I have today for you 4 messages for 4 different audiences. And I want to start off with the first message primarily to the heroes of the Ummah today, to the people that are holding it for us today. Ahlu Palestine, Ahlu Gaza, to be more specific, the people of Gaza, the people of Palestine. And I want to say to them first, اصبروا وصابروا ورابطوا واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون. Be patient, persevere, and stand on God, and be mindful of Allah so that Allah will make you successful. I want to say to them that we, the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we stand with you, whether we're black or white, whether we're Arab or non-Arab, whether we're male or female. We as Muslims, we stand with you today, and we stand with you every day. المؤمن للمؤمن كالبنيان يشد بعضه بعضا وشبك أصابعه عليه الصلاة والسلام. The believer to the believer is like a brick of walls, a bricks of wall. They enforce and strengthen each other. And I say, Ya Ahl Gaza, you have brought this ummah together. You have brought this ummah together when we were too busy focusing on our internal differences, focusing on that which makes us apart. But you made us remember the importance of standing together and the importance of standing in the face of tyranny and oppression. Ya Ahl Gaza, you made us proud today. You made us proud and raised our heads up high. For too long have we held our heads in shame. For too long have we hung our heads in shame because of the lack of fortitude and determination displayed by our leaders and ourselves. But to see you stand up, Ya Ahl Gaza, when all the people have gathered against you, to hear your voices outcry the voices of mainstream media and politicians in praising and glorifying Allah, and seeing you come out of rubble and thanking Allah and only turning to Allah and remembering that Allah is your only protector. Wallahi, you remind us of the Sahaba who Allah mentioned about الَّذِينَ قَالَ لَهُمُ النَّاسُ إِنَّ النَّاسَ قَدْ جَمَعُوا لَكُمْ فَاخْشَوْهُمْ. That those who are warned, and the people said to them, your enemies have mobilized their forces against you, so be fearful of them. فَزَادَهُمْ إِيمَانًا وَقَالُوا حَسْبُنَا اللَّهُ وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. But that only increased their iman, that only lifted them in their spirits, and they said, Allah alone is our protector. Allah alone is the one who's going to aid us, and Allah is the best of protectors. So no matter what happens, Ya Ahl Gaza, know that you are victorious with Allah. Know that you are mansurun, insha'Allah. As Allah says in the Quran, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Don't be disheartened. Don't feel upset when you are the ones who are on top. You are the ones that have the upper hand because you are the believers. إِيَمْسَسْكُمْ قَرْحٌ فَقَدْ مَسَّ الْقَوْمَ قَرْحٌ مِثْلُهُ. If you have been afflicted with pain and loss, then so have your enemies been afflicted with pain and loss. تِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. These are the days that we alternate between the people. Sometimes it's victory, sometimes it's defeat and loss. And that is why وَلِيَعْلَمَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَيَتَّخِذَ مِنْكُمْ شُهَدَاءَ. So that Allah can distinguish the believers and He can take from you shuhada, martyrs. How else could Allah do it? If the believers were continuously victorious, then there would be no need for munafiqun. They would just follow with us. But Allah makes us suffer defeat and loss like we see today to really test us. As Allah says, وَلِيُمَحِّصَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَيَمْحَقَ الْكَافِرِينَ. So that Allah will distinguish and Allah will make clear who the believers are, and He will wipe out those disbelievers. أَمْ حَسِبْتُمْ يَا أَهْلَ غَزَّةَ أَمْ حَسِبْتُمْ أَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ وَلَمَّا يَعْلَمِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا مِنْكُمْ وَيَعْلَمَ الصَّابِرِينَ. Do you think that you will enter Jannah? Do you think you will enter eternal paradise? And Allah has yet not distinguished those of you who struggle in His path and those of you who persevere and are patient. Ya Ahl Gaza, people came before you. مَسَّتْهُمُ الْبَأْسَاءُ وَالضَّرَّاءُ وَزُلْزِلُوا. They were afflicted with pain and loss and hunger and poverty, and they were shooken to their core. حَتَّى يَقُولَ الرَّسُولُ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَهُ. Until the messenger who was amongst them and the believers amongst them, they said, مَتَى نَصْرُ اللَّهِ. When is the victory of Allah? When is the help of Allah? And Allah replied, أَلَا إِنَّ نَصْرَ اللَّهِ قَرِيبٌ. Verily, unquestionably, the victory, the help, the aid of Allah is near. The help and aid and victory of Allah is when Allah determines that for it to come. You are victorious, ya Ahl Gaza. You are the people who are like those who have been massacred before you, like those in Surah Al-Buruj. What did Allah say about them? How can we say that you are people who are victorious? We say so because Allah said it about them. Those who believe and do good actions, they will enter Jannah. ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْكَبِيرُ. That is the greatest possible win. That is the greatest possible win for them, because they are believers and they are doing good actions. They believe in Allah. And then I want to move on now to my second message and the second audience, to the Muslim leaders and those in authority amongst the Muslims. Look at this ummah. Look at the people around you and know زيادة التشريف تعني زيادة التكليف. Just because you have a greater status and authority, that means you have a greater responsibility and accountability. It is wajib upon you that you help and aid and bring victory to our brothers and sisters in Palestine. And the greatest way that you can possibly do this is no other way than that which Allah has legislated when He said, وَأَعِدُّ لَهُمْ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن قُوَّةٍ وَمِن رِّبَاطِ الْخَيْلِ. Prepare against your enemies that which you can from military power and capabilities and cavalry. ترهبون به عدو الله وعدوكم وآخرين من دونهم لا تعلمونهم الله يعلمهم. So that you can deter, so that you can go against the enemies of Allah and your enemies, as well as every other enemy that is not known to you, but Allah knows who they are. وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ يُوَفَّ إِلَيْكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تُظْلَمُونَ. Why are you worried? Why are you scared? Why are you fearful when Allah says whatever you spend in His path, whatever you do and sacrifice in His path, it will be returned to you in full and you will not be wronged. Those agreements that you have, those covenants that you have, those accords that you have, wallahi, they've been nullified by these people who have killed innocent men, women and children, butchered them. Is that enough for you not to wake up and see that these people don't have any accord towards you? They don't have any good feeling towards you. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he fought the Quraysh and he went and attacked them after the treaty. Why? Because they are the one that nullified the contract. When they killed who? They killed non-Muslims. They killed non-Muslims. Innocent non-Muslims that were part of the contract with the Muslims. When they nullified that, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam immediately took the army and stood out against them. So this is your leader who you follow. This is the one who taught us to be just and fair even with our enemies. And should you step up to this mighty task, O leaders of the Muslims, should they step up to this task, then they should know that victory will come from Allah. إِيَنْصُرْكُمُ اللَّهُ فَلَا غَالِبَ لَكُمْ. If you go and you help, if Allah helps you, because you go onto the path of Allah and you try your best, then no one can defeat you. وَإِن يَخْذُلْكُمْ فَمَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يَنْصُرُكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ. But if Allah denies you His help, then who is going to help you? وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. And so upon Allah the believers should put their trust. Put your trust in Allah and don't worry about losing what you have. Rather, Allah will increase you if you try to bring victory to His religion. The third message I want to give, and this is the message to the enemies of Islam, the message to mainstream media. I know you're listening and I want you to listen. Wallahi, Allah has told us about you from before. لا يقاتلونكم جميعا إلا في قرى محصنة أو من وراء جدر. That you, even when you're united and everything that you have, you would not dare to step up and fight against us face to face. Rather you prefer what? Fortified strongholds and to fight behind the walls. بَأْسُهُمْ بَيْنَهُمْ شَدِيد. We see you and your evil and your hate, your malice is so clear amongst yourselves. تَحْسَبُهُمْ جَمِيعًا وَقُلُوبُهُمْ شَتَّى. We believers, when we see you, we think you're united with your alliances. But the reality is your hearts are so different with each other. And now we're seeing that. Now we're seeing how different you are with each other. And Allah says, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ قَوْمٌ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Because there are people who don't understand. They don't know what it means to truly unite to people. They don't know what it means to have a true alliance as we Muslims have. كَمَثَلِ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ قَرِيبًا ذَاقُوا وَبَالَ أَمْرِهِمْ وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. They are just like those who fell before them. Those people who thought that they can help each other. What did happen? They faced their ending. They faced the evil of their consequences. And now they will suffer a painful punishment in the akhirah. كَمَثَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ إِذْ قَالَ لِلْإِنسَانِ كْفُرْ. Just like shaitan, these alliances that are helping this tyrant and oppressor, they are just like shaitan when he says to humankind, disbelieve in Allah. And on Yawm al-Qiyamah, what does he say? Inni bari'um mink, inni akhafu Allah Rabb al-Alameen. I'm free from you. I've got nothing to do with you. I fear Allah, the Lord of the worlds. But Allah says, فَكَانَ عَاقِبَتَهُمَا أَنَّهُمَا فِي النَّارِ خَالِدَيْنِ فِيهَا وَذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ الظَّالِمِينَ. But they will both end up in the blazing fire, where they will both stay there forever. And that is the reward of the wrongdoers. That is the recompense of the oppressors. So don't be amazed. Don't be fooled by your power. Don't be fooled by your authority in the land, when Allah has already exposed you in the Quran. When Allah said, لَا يَغُرَّنَّكَ تَقَلُّبُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا فِي الْبِلَادِ. Don't be deceived, O believers, by the prosperity of the disbelievers throughout the land, their power and their might. Don't let them deceive you. مَتَاعٌ قَلِيلٌ ثُمَّ مَأْوَاهُمْ جَهَنَّمْ وَبِئْسَ الْمِهَادِ. It's only a brief enjoyment for you. What you're doing to our brothers and sisters is only a brief enjoyment for you. Then hellfire will be your abode, and what an evil place to rest. And what about our brothers and sisters in Gaza that you butchered and killed and destroyed their homes and stole their land? Allah says, لَكِنِ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا رَبَّهُم. But those who are mindful of their Lord, and what will happen to them? لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٌ تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا. You bombed their homes, you destroyed their homes, you butchered their children. Allah says, for them is Jannah, which they will abide in there forever. نُزُلًا مِّنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ. Accommodation with Allah. You took their accommodation in this world. Wallahi, their accommodation is greater in the akhirah. Wallahu وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ لِلْأَبْرَارِ. And that which is with Allah is best and most virtuous. The world can see you now for your hypocrisy. The world can see you now for how hypocritical and the double standards that you have. And we say it was written, it was decreed by Allah that Ukraine-Russia happened not long ago, so that people can see your double standards. Where's the humanity now that you speak of? Where are the human rights that you speak of? Where are they now when it comes to our brothers and sisters in Palestine? Where are they? You liars, you hypocrites. Wallahi, Allah exposed you. Allah showed you for your true colors of who you are. And to the mainstream media, I say this. I say to mainstream media in the Western world, you have now innocent blood on your hands. Just a few days ago, we saw that 6-year-old boy in Chicago, Wadi' rahimahullah, and may Allah have mercy on his family and grant them the highest abode of Jannah. You have his blood on your hands, directly involved. It's you maiming the Muslims, lying and deceiving, misleading the people, that caused his own landlord to stab a 6-year-old child 26 times. 26 times. A 6-year-old child. How else can somebody become like that, switch overnight? Only because of how they're listening to the lies and deception of you, Western mainstream media. And Allah has exposed you, and you no longer control the narrative. I'm sorry. You no longer have it 10, 20 years ago when we had nothing to do but switch on the TV and listen to your lies. Now everybody can see you for you are. Now with social media, everybody's seeing the lies that you say. You are the one that is trying to catch up now. You are the one that is behind, and the rest of the world is moving on. And so I say, mutu bighaydikum, die in your own rage. And you want us to condemn? You want us then to come out and condemn? This is what you want to say? Condemn, come and condemn these atrocities that happen? Wallahi, I say, don't let them put you on the back foot. Don't let them allow you to become now apologetic. This is right where they want you, in this psychological superiority complex now, that you are the lower person. You have to condemn. You have to start by condemning. I say no. I say no, and I'm not saying this. Those who are listening with the MI5 and James Bond, whoever you are, listen to me carefully. I will condemn. I will condemn right now. When you condemn 70 over years, 70 plus years of tyranny, oppression, illegal occupation, human rights violations that you wrote in the conventions yourself, that the United Nations themselves see as violations. When you stand up and condemn that, then you will see how we are. Then you will see how just we are. But don't try to put us on the back foot. Don't try your tactics that you learned from your forefather Fir'aun, who tried it with Musa alayhi salam, when he said to him, وَفَعَلْتَ فَعْلَتَكَ الَّتِي فَعَلْتَ وَأَنْتَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. You Musa, you come to us now, you ungrateful person, you the one that killed that person from our people, from the Egyptian man, you killed him, trying to now put the victim card on himself and say Musa is the oppressor. He killed thousands of Banu Israel, and now he wants to come and blame Musa for one accident. And what does Musa alayhi salam is when he says to him, فَعَلْتُهَا إِذَا وَأَنَا مِنَ الضَّالِّينَ. I did it then when I lacked guidance. And then he replies straight away, وَتِلْكَ نِعْمَةٌ تَمُنُّهَا عَلَيْهِ أَنْ عَبَّدْتَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ. You're trying to get your favor over me. You're trying to tell me that I'm wrong with this one soul that I took by accident, when you enslaved an entire people and killed their men and enslaved their women. How dare you tell me this? How dare you try to get me like in a situation like this? This is how the believer responds. He's not apologetic. He's not on the back foot. He changes the narrative and takes control of it.